What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today. Welcome to a very exciting one for the community in general. So Dashpack has been very nice to provide this for me a couple of days early so I can get this video recorded and uploaded for you. And you should be seeing this video on Thursday the 12th and on Friday the 13th, bit of a bad luck, I know, on MXB Mods, completely for free. You should have a model replacement pack for almost every single bike in the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly list all the bikes that this entails and which bikes the swaps are for, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of in-game stuff, just flying around in free camera, and then a little bit of first and third person perspective on each one also. Bear in mind that there's a bunch of these that are on 250 and 450. The models are going to be the same, so I'm only going to ride one version of each. And then there's some bikes that all apply to the same, but you'll see what I mean. For all of you passionate gamers, you can now get 20% off all G Fuel products worldwide by using code LINS at checkout. And for any of you motorheads looking for some new drip or apparel, use code MXPR_LINS15 fxrracing.eu to get 15% off. All links and codes are in the description down below. Enjoy the video and drop a cheeky little like and subscribe. So it's worth me mentioning as well that all of these bikes come with a handguard option and a non-handguard option. So going down the list, we have got the 2025 Fantic 450, which obviously goes on the current Fantic 450. We have got the 2025 Honda 450 and 250, which we've got an example of this bike right here in front of you. We have also got the Beta for the KTM 450, which if I switch over to the KTM, you'll see a quick glimpse of it here also. And there it is. We've got the Beta, which goes on the KTM currently. We have then got another Fantic. However, this Fantic is, I believe, 2024 version, and this goes on either the 250 or 450 as well. I've slapped it on the 250 for you here, so you can see it's got a slightly different front end on it. It hasn't got like the get timer or whatever it is that they put on the front of the bikes these days. Scrolling further down on the 250 and 450 as well, we have got a new gas model, which let me just cycle through and show you that also. Gas is up here, and I do like the gas. It's kind of my favorite 450 at the moment. So we've got a new gas model swap here with some handguards on it as well. We have also got a new Husky 250 and 450 also, and this one has some handguards. All of these models that I'm showing you right now have handguards, but there is also a non-handguard version. We have got a brand new Cowie as well, and this Cowie is very bright. Like, I didn't realise greens could get as bright as this, but a nice new cool one. And a lot of these models are also shared with the factory bikes, if you remember those as well. A lot of these models do come from Sim. However, this has all been done with full permission, like to be put in game as well. The next one we've got is the newest KTM, which I've put on the KTM 250. So let me just find that one real quick as well. This is one of them times, but I really wish the game loaded bikes quicker. So here you go. Here's the new KTM for you on the 250. Again, handguards and non-handguard versions. We have then got a brand new Suzuki 450, which actually I'm a big fan of. I wish that the bike was actually a little bit quicker in-game, because otherwise I feel like I'd main the Suzuki quite a lot. I really do enjoy it. And then going back to the factory bikes as well, where all the bikes have the same speeds as each other, for example, I used to run the Suzuki really often. We then also have a TM, which I'll load up. And then we've also got a Triumph, which I will show you in the riding. I won't show it here because the Triumph actually goes on the KTM also. Currently on the 450, I've got a Beta model, and on the 250, I've got a KTM model. So you have to kind of alternate between those if you do want to switch, but then a brand new TM for you as well. So yeah, let me show you some, I guess, first person and third person footage of each bike also. Now, these showcases that I'm going to be doing, please bear in mind that the bikes are going to be stock setup-wise, because I can't be bothered going through and trying to find or add suspension setups to each of these. So if you see me crash in or whatever, obviously the riding is nothing to do with these models at all. These are purely for aesthetic reasons. So I thought I'd start things off here on the 2025 Fantic. And also, if you're curious about view settings that you see here, my field of view is 115, so that is 115. My tilt is on 0, and my pitch is on 31. And then in-game here, if you press Shift and C on your keyboard, you can move the camera all the way down and then all the way back. And that is how you achieve the field of views and just general look in the first person that I'm rocking right here. So this bike, I think it looks pretty good. For personal opinion, I actually prefer bikes without handguards, but I know a lot of people in the community do really like them. And whenever I do run a bike with handguards, people are always asking how I go about getting it. So that is the exact reason why all of these versions I'm showing you do have them. Again, you have full free reign and customization to be able to switch them out as you see necessary. And then here is the same bike in the third person camera as well. I really like this. I think it looks really, really good. I know there's some hardcore Fantic fans in the community as well that swear upon it that will be really happy to get this. So there you go. There is the 2025 Fantic 450 or 250. I think it might only be the 450. That's the only one I'm unsure of. But 2025 Fantic 450 at least. So next up on the chopping block, we have got the new Gas available on both the 250 and the 450 bike, and also available with and without handguards. 450's been my baby recently. The last week and a half or so, I've been riding it the most out of all the 450 bikes and just thoroughly enjoying it, and getting to a point in the game where I just feel really, really comfortable. I hadn't noticed the radiators look like they've got some sort of radiator guards on them just down there at the bottom of my screen, which looks really, really cool. Handguards look nice as well. What I will say about these models also is the texturing on them is really, really good. Like if you was to zoom in a bunch in certain lighting on the plastics, you'll see all sorts of like little scratches and marks, and I think a lot of that stems back from a lot of them being MX Simulator models. I think in terms of general quality, the models that get created and made in the sim community are a little bit above just like solely bikes ones. The reason for that as well is I know they can charge for it. Like some of the models go for a lot of money if you want customization options. But then it's also cool that they're letting us put them in our game. The catch with these bikes, if you're wondering about skins and your skins working, then any skins that you currently have on your OEM bikes will not work on these because they are different bikes. It's like when you're a child and you're playing those things where you put certain shapes in the certain coloured holes, like triangle, certain size holes. Triangle goes in triangle, square goes in square. It's like trying to put a square shape in a triangular hole. It's never going to fit. It's never going to work. So the skins that you have now will not fit on these bikes. If you want to make skins for these bikes outside of the ones that you get given already, then you will have to go to the original creators of the models and buy that cutout from them to be able to pull it in game. I don't believe there's any sort of free PSDs for these at all. That's the only catch with this pack. But yeah, reach out to them. I'm sure that when Dashpack uploads this to MXB Mods, he will have all of the information of the original bike creators as well. So there you go. There is the new updated Gas for you. Out of all of the 2025 models I have seen so far, not just talking in game, I mean like real life models I've seen, I think the 2025 Honda is probably the best looking. I'm not sure what it is about the shrouds on it, but I really, really enjoy it. So very happy to get this in game as well. So exactly like the Gas, this is available on the 450 and the 250 Honda, and it is also available with handguards and without handguards also. And just to show it off here for you a little bit, we've obviously got the handguard version on right now. We've got some a nice fat bar on there. I think it looks very, very lovely. And the cockpit on this is quite nice as well, because it gives you a bit of a further back view than the normal OEM Modelswap does. Normally, when I'm riding the Honda in-game from the normal stock OEM one, you feel very, very close up. It's like you've not got much room to work with in your office in front of you. This one gives you a little bit more room. The rider is positioned slightly further back, and from a third-person perspective as well, you can see you've got the Yoshi pipe on there as well, so it looks very, very lovely. Now, I'm not going to go for each and every little detail that these bikes have. That is for you to explore and enjoy. This is just a quick little preview to show you boys and girls, of course, what you're getting into, what you can let yourself in for, and if there's any that really stand out to you, then they can be the first ones that you go and put it in your game and mess around with. So there you go. 2025 Honda gets the old thumbs up from Linda, a good old seal of approval. Now, of course, when it comes to riding the Husky, I have to go and take it onto the Supercross track because it's my bike of choice for Supercross. Lovely stuff. I mean, we've got the normal Rockstar Suzuki? No, normal Rockstar Husky skins here for you as well. And this one looks really, really nice. Front fender, you can barely distinguish the difference, but the rest of the bike with the handguards and the bars looks really, really cool. Please go for that. And then we'll quad our way into here, quad our way all the way into the corner, little back brake tap, get the front wheel pitched downwards to come into land. And I like the, almost like the, looks like a bit of a matte finish around the tank and the plastics. It's not super, super shiny at all, but I actually quite like that. Matte black is one of my favourite colours in general when it comes to vehicles. Like if I could get if I was bougie enough to get a matte black car one day, then 100% I would go for it. Not sure my gear fully goes with this bike at the moment, which I do apologise for. But overall, it looks really, really nice. It looks a bit more skinny than the normal OEM one, a bit more compact, which I really don't mind at all. I suppose there's two kinds, isn't there? A lot of visual stuff can affect how you play. It's all a little bit placebo. Like I have a really, let's say, girthy, without trying to sound too sus, a really girthy bike underneath me, a nice wide boy, then it almost feels like it doesn't turn as sharp or isn't as nimble, even though it's all in your head. But yeah, again, Husky available 450 and 250 with handguards and without handguards for your pleasure and customization options. So there you go. Oh, boys, the drip is immaculate. Okay, Cowie time, again, 450 and 250 option, handguards and no handguards allowed. So the Cowie is not a... I'm going to hit the wall, aren't I? Yep. The Cowie is not a bike that gets much love at the moment, and I generally think the reason for that is it's just pretty damn slow. In a public lobby setting, I don't think it matters too much, but when you're trying to get the best times possible for aerial/pro races, you do want a machine that goes very, very quick to do so. However, for the few Cowie enjoyers in the audience, I apologise, we have got this lovely Cowie Modelswap to display to you. It is so vibrant. Looks really, really good. And obviously, reshade has something to do with that anyway, but the model itself looks beautiful. Like, zoom in right in on the front fender and everything. It looks very, very high quality, very, very detailed. And honestly, it might be one of my favourite models so far. It's annoying that I'm just not a big Cowie enjoyer in-game overall. Even down to the seat cover, I think the seat cover looks quite cool. Whether that's intentional or not, or whether there's been UV left on, I have no idea. It's like it's almost like a bit of patchwork stitching going on in there. Either way, very, very cool. I didn't really have a gear set to match a Cowie, just because it's a bike that I don't ride often at all, but pulled this fluorescent mess out of the wardrobe. I accidentally pressed the reset button, I do apologise. But yeah, for you Cowie fans, I think you're going to be fans of this one. I think you're going to really, really enjoy it. Moving on to the beta now. This beta is available in 250 and 450 form with and without handguards, and this beta is applicable to the KTM 450. And I believe that Dashpack, when it comes to these bikes that don't actually exist yet in the OEM pack, he's gone for the bike that most people ride, KTM 450 being the most popular one. So yeah, if you want to ride this bike, you'll have to put it on your KTM in-game to look at it. And I like it. It's something a little bit different. I quite like the beta, more so from a third-person perspective. The cockpit's a little bit interesting. The fact that front fender does look quite on the fat side. And the handguards, for me, just a personal thing, they're a little bit beefy. They almost look like some Supermoto handguards, in my opinion. So I would definitely run this. If I was doing it from a personal level, I would run this without any handguards at all. But I think the bike itself looks very, very cool. And I hope that they have better results IRL. I really, really do. They didn't do too much in Supercross, but we'll see how that goes in the future for them. But I'm a fan of these less popular brands, and I think same goes like Triumph, I believe he's also put on the KTM also. So yeah, there's a couple that are on there. But yeah, beta. Big fan. If you are someone who's all from like an enduro background as well, you've probably got quite a sweet spot for the beta bikes. So yeah, if you want to ride something a little bit different rather than just the normal KTM, then by all means give it a go. Oh boys, this is sexy. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit on the shiny side, I will say. It looks like someone's had a little bit of a go of WD-40 on it, but I am a big Suzuki enjoyer. I noticed it looks and feels a little bit skinnier than the main OEM Suzuki, and I don't mind that at all. It kind of removes some of that heavy / clunkiness feeling. Again, all completely placebo. These make absolutely zero effect on how the bikes handle. But I am of the opinion that if you look good and feel good on the bike, then you will be going faster anyway. I'm a big fan also of how it's yellow front and then black back end. I don't know why, I really like the black shrouds on it. I think if the entire thing was yellow, it might lose a little bit of its sex appeal to me. But yeah, big old fan of this one, I really am. I hope that in future OEM updates that the Suzuki can be given a little bit more love. I know they try and go as close to real world values as possible, but I think for the sake of competitiveness, I'd love it to be updated a bit, because I generally think it's got one of the best suspensions in the game, which makes it almost viable, but you just lose out so much on top speed that you just can't really compete at all. I remember the Hawkston pre-season MXGP race, I'd have really good drives up the massive hill, and anybody on a KTM would just pull like 2 bike lamps on me on that one straight. So it really was an uphill battle, and pun intended. But yeah, really big fan of the Suzuki. Again, available on 250 and 450, handguards and no handguards. I really like these smaller handguards on here. I think they look just really, really nice compared to the bigger ones. But that's, again, just personal preference. So yeah, give the Suzuki a go if you are one of the banana enjoyers. So we're rocking the old Italian Stallion. TM does not get much love at all, unfortunately, and I don't know why. It's been like this since the TM's integration into the OEM packs. It just doesn't handle particularly well. Now, I'm going to throw it out there that the TM125 is absolutely rapid. The TM250 4-stroke is pretty good, and when it comes to the TM450, however, it's lacking a little bit. If you was to race the TM around a track like Forest, you would feel incredible at the game. It handles flat tracking and just overall speed really, really well. Where the TM struggles, however, which I believe is why it doesn't get much love in normal racing, is as soon as you throw a little bit of rough into the mix, it does feel a little bit like a pogo stick. And it seems like no matter what you do to its suspension wires, it always ends up that way. So again, this is available on the 250 and the 450 TMs with and without handguards. And it's nice seeing the Italian bike get a little bit of love as well. I remember when I was a bit younger and just riding around or hearing like the old TM125s in person, them things sounded absolutely insane. And I believe they was insane to ride as well, like just really, really fast machines. Not the most reliable in the world. They were quite spenny, especially when you can't really get parts from anywhere. I think parts are quite hard to source for them. But the TM, definitely a rarer bike to see on the track. But again, if any of you are big TM enjoyers, then you have the option of a newer model here. And you see there, just a little bump, and it just completely kicked me and sent me flying. So there you go, there is the TM. I know this is probably going to be one of those ones that a lot of people run. So it's KTM time, boys. Again, I'm riding it on the 250 right here, just because my 450 slot is currently taken up by the beta whilst recording this. But this is available on both the 250 and 450, handguards and no handguards, and it's the smaller handguards as well, which I really, really do prefer. Very, very bright orange this, like really, really in your face, really bright. And I'm guessing this is just like the newest model of the bike. Not sure how many like trick bits it's got, but we've got some fat bars on it as well. Got some radiator covers by the looks of it as well. And then I'm just trying to look at the bike laying down a little bit. We've got a little FMF pipe on the back, and just a nice solid model all around. Again, when it comes to textures and reflections, if you stop in like a certain light and lean right forwards and look into it, YouTube might do it a little bit dirty, but there's like little scratches and little smudges on the front fender, and I think it looks very, very nice and very lovely. So I think this is probably going to be one of the more popular ones, especially since KTM is one of the favoured bikes anyway. But there you go. There's one for you orange enjoyers. Knock yourselves out. Now, this is, I think it's our first 250 only model swap. This is for the Fantic 250. I believe it's the 2024 edition of the Fantic. Now, this is very, very similar to the 25. However, the difference between the 250 and 450, you can't really spot it from the back end. However, you can see it when we go into the front end. The front fender is a bit different on this bike compared to the 450. So yeah, this is only available on the Fantic 250, and again, this also comes with and without handguards. I don't dislike the Fantic 250 at all. I think it's fairly slept on. It's in a similar sort of level to the Yami. I feel like they're both very, very similar to each other, but then again, they're very similar to each other bikes in real life. I actually quite enjoy how narrow this bike is. It's fairly skinny, and I just noticed the, I believe that's one of the get lap timers, or one of the things that used to get data. It's actually behind the handlebars on this bike, not on the front mudguard. So it is there. It's just been a little bit sneaky. You can see from the rear view like how skinny the bike is, so it does give it a little bit of a streamlined look, a bit of a nimble feel. And yeah, is it bad that I had no idea what the newer Fantics looked like? I guess because I just don't keep up with GPs at all, really. I just didn't know much about them. But there you go. There is the Fantic 250. And then the final model that I have for you lovely chaps and chapettes today is the Triumph, which I know a lot of people are probably itching to get their hand on. The Triumph is available on the KTM 450 and 250 with and without handguards, and I think this is going to be one that we see quite a lot. Really nice in my opinion, and I don't think they're manufactured in the UK anymore. But Triumph being a UK company, it's nice to see a little bit of UK representation. So I hope to see a few of the UK boys running this bad boy. And the fact that it's on the KTM does make me think that that will be the case. The only issue you have with these packs is if you obviously put a model swap on a bike. So if I have the Triumph on the KTM, every other KTM 450 that I see in the game will also be the Triumph. So if your buddy has a KTM skin on the KTM that they really want you to see and you're running the Triumph, you won't be able to see it. Unfortunately, they will be on a Triumph on your screen. So just bear that in mind when you're putting these things in the game. But Triumph looks very, very nice. There's a handful of bikes I actually quite enjoy. And to the extent where it almost makes you want to try and ride something a little bit different. But I cannot commend Mr. Dashpack enough for firstly not only giving me to these a few days early to even record and make the video on in the first place, but also in just putting in so much hard work to get these together for the community anyway. I'm guessing he's gone out of his way to buy these and put them in game, and he's got the MX Simulator creators permissions anyway. And again, if you want to modify these yourself in any sort of way, in terms of paints, cutouts, putting your numbers on the bike, etc., I believe you will need to reach out to the original creators. If you're someone that just plays the game, you know, very casually, you have no desire to put all your team stuff on a bike, you just want to play the game and ride bikes as they come, then this is going to be perfect for you. So again, thank you for all the hard work, Dashpack, for getting this in game for us, and I hope everybody gets a good amount of fun and enjoyment out of these. And they should be out again tomorrow if you're watching this video the day that it releases. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked. If you did, please do drop one down below and leave a comment on just kind of what your bike is the favourite. It'd be interesting to see what the general consensus is overall. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. All the lovely YouTube stuff. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.
Lynn's in the zone, never backing down. Riding MX bikes, he's the talk of the town. 2022 champ with a YouTube crown. His game is tight, no signs of slowing down. Late nights, bright lights, he's chasing that fame in the digital arena. Writing his name, she's a 10 out of 10. Supporting his lane, hairline might receive, but his passion's the same.